Level 1. The last morning at home. You are 8 years old, your father holds your hand tighter than usual. You don't know why. The road to the capital takes 3 days on foot. He has not spoken more than 10 words the whole journey. At night he pulls you against his chest. Like when you were smaller, you think maybe he is sick. You think maybe someone in the family has died. You are wrong on both counts. The man at the gate has soft hands. Clean fingernails. He looks at your teeth the way the horse trader in your village looks at horses. He nods once. Your father receives a small cloth pouch. You hear the coins before you see them. Your father does not look at you when he turns to leave. You call after him once, twice, a third time. The third time your voice breaks into something you have never heard from your own mouth before. The man with clean fingernails puts a hand on your shoulder. He guides you through the red gate. You don't understand what the small room at the end of the corridor is for, not yet. Level 2. The morning after. This is the worst morning of your life. You will live 60 more years inside these walls. You are lying on a mat that smells like vinegar and old cloth. Something is wrong with your body. You have no words for what it is. 3 other boys are in the room with you. One of them is not breathing. Nobody comes to check on him for a long time. An older eunuch named Chen brings a bowl of rice porridge, thin, watery. He does not speak. He watches you eat with the face of a man who has seen this room too many times. When you finish, he takes the bowl. He says only one thing: you cried last night, don't do that again. Sound travels in this place. You want to ask about your father. You want to ask when you can go home. You want to ask what happens to you now, what your life looks like from this morning forward. You ask none of these things. Your first lesson of palace life does not come from a teacher. It comes from a room that smells like vinegar. Silence is the first skill, everything else comes after. Level 3. The boy who sweeps. For 5 years you sweep the eastern courtyard before sunrise. The corridor outside the hall of literary glory after every meal. The stone path between the second and third gate. You walk that path so many times you know every crack in every stone by name. In winter your hands bleed from the cold handle of the broom. You tear cloth from the bottom of your sleeping robe. You wrap your hands, you keep sweeping. You learn the hierarchy the way all low eunuchs learn it, through pain. A senior eunuch named Wei strikes the back of your head for walking too loudly past a resting chamber. A palace maid ranked far below you in theory ignores your existence entirely. She serves a concubine of the third rank. You serve no one yet. You understand quickly that rank here is not a ladder. It is a web. You are not even on the web. You are below it in the dirt, but you watch. You watch which eunuchs eat better food, which ones walk fast and which ones slow. Which ones stop moving when a certain official rounds the corner. You watch who speaks first in a group and who always waits. You watch for 700 days. The watching becomes a language. You didn't know you were learning it until you already spoke it. One afternoon, a senior official drops a folded document in the corridor. You pick it up before anyone else moves. You hold it out with both hands, eyes down. He takes it without looking at you. That night your rice portion is slightly larger than usual. You don't know why. You don't ask. You eat every grain. Level 4. Assigned a mistress. You are 19. You have your first post. Lady Fang is a concubine of the 4th rank. Her courtyard sits in the northwest corner of the palace. The afternoon shadow falls early there. The winter wind arrives first. She has been in the palace for 11 years. She has not been summoned to the emperor's chamber in 4. She has eyes that have already finished grieving something. They have settled into a quieter kind of sadness. The kind that no longer expects anything to change. Your job is to carry her tea, announce her visitors. Remember her preferences without being told twice. The first week you bring jasmine tea on a Tuesday morning. She looks at the cup for a long moment, says nothing. That evening her senior maid finds you in the corridor. Lady Fang drinks chrysanthemum on Tuesdays. Jasmine reminds her of her mother's funeral. You bow. You do not make that mistake again. What nobody tells you about serving a concubine of the 4th rank is that you become invisible together. Her invisibility comes from being forgotten by power. Yours comes from being considered furniture. But furniture hears everything. In 3 years in Lady Fang's courtyard you learn which palace official is sleeping with which other official's wife. Which eunuch in the emperor's inner chamber carries a gambling debt. Which imperial physician falsifies health reports for money? You write none of this down, you store it the way a merchant stores gold, quietly, in a place no one thinks to look. Lady Fang says your name once in 3 years, a winter fever, delirium, she thinks you are her younger brother who died at 12. She grabs your wrist and calls you by a name that is not yours. You hold her hand until she falls back asleep. You never speak of it. Level 5, the inner court. You are 23. A eunuch in the inner court dies not unusually, not dramatically. Old age and one cold night. His position needs filling. Someone who watched you in Lady Fang's courtyard said a word to someone else. That word passed through 4 mouths before it became a recommendation. You never find out whose mouth started it. You now serve in the corridor outside the hall of mental cultivation. This is where the emperor works. You do not see him, you see his shadow through paper screens, you hear his voice sometimes, clipped. Tired, occasionally sharp, you stand for 12-hour shifts, you learn to become part of the wall. But being part of the wall means being present for everything. You hear the argument between the emperor and his third son. An inkstone throne, 3 weeks of silence that follow. You hear the Minister of Revenue weeping quietly behind a closed door after a private meeting. You hear an imperial physician lean close to a senior eunuch and whisper. The emperor's cough is worse than the official reports say. You hear all of it, you carry it like water in cupped hands, carefully, without spilling, without drinking. Your supervisor is Master Shen. He watches you for 6 months before speaking to you directly. When he finally does, it is not a compliment. You're too careful, he says. Careful men are useful, but careful men who are also smart are dangerous. Decide which one you want to be. You think about this for weeks. You decide he is testing you. You decide the correct answer is to stay exactly as you are and let him wonder which one you chose. Master Shen promotes you 3 months later. You never find out if you answered correctly. Level 6, managing 42 men. You are 31, you manage 42 people. Your title is Chief Eunuch of the Inner Western Quarter. You have a room with a door that locks, a small charcoal brazier. A porcelain cup with a chip on the rim that you chose yourself from a storage room. It is the most personal decision you have made in 23 years inside these walls. Managing 42 people means knowing 42 sets of fears, the young ones' fear beatings, the middle ones' fear being passed over. The senior ones fear the young ones replacing them. You hold all 42 fears in the same place you stored the secrets from Lady Fang's courtyard. You use them the way a craftsman uses tools, only when needed, never carelessly. The first time someone offers you a bribe, you refuse. Not from virtue, from calculation. The man is connected to a faction with 3 enemies inside the inner court. You don't yet know which side survives the winter. You wait. The second bribe comes from the other side 6 weeks later. You refuse that one too. Both men believe you are incorruptible. You are not, you are patient. By the time you accept your first payment, it is not called a bribe by anyone present. It is called a gift. You have done nothing explicitly in exchange. You have simply allowed certain information to not reach certain ears. The distinction is important. The distinction is everything. Level 7, 3 feet from the Emperor. You are 44. You stand 3 feet from the Emperor for the first time. Not across a courtyard, not through a paper screen, 3 feet. You can see the tiredness around his eyes. The ink stain on his left middle finger that never fully washes out. He is a man. This surprises you more than you expected it to. Your role in his inner chamber is to manage flow, documents, people, information, what reaches the Emperor's attention and what does not. You did not ask for this, you did not pursue it directly. You accumulated small trustworthiness the way certain stones accumulate moss. Slowly, consistently, in the right conditions, you understand now what the old eunuchs meant. The most dangerous moment in palace life is not when you are powerless. It is the first time you touch power and feel how much more exists above you. A minister of the outer court sends you a formal dinner invitation. You decline, he sends a second. You decline again. The third time he comes to you directly, lowers his voice. He simply wants to discuss the matter of the Northern Grain reports. I am only a servant, you say. I carry documents, I do not read them. He knows this is a lie, you know this is a lie, you both bow. You part ways. 2 months later he is transferred to a border post. You had nothing to do with it. You think about that for a long time. Level 8, the man officials fear. You are 57, 3 emperors have died during your years here. You have outlasted 4 chief ministers, 2 empresses, 1 attempted coup that the official histories later describe only as a period of administrative reorganization. You stood in a corridor that night, watched men you had known for 30 years move very quickly in opposite directions. You stood still, they moved around you like water around stone. Your name is spoken carefully now. Not with fear exactly, with precision, the way people discuss whether that could go either way. You have never married. No children in the biological sense, but you have placed 11 men in positions of influence inside this court. Protected 6 families from ruin by withholding single documents at precise moments. Destroyed 3 careers with the same method applied in reverse. All of this without raising your voice once in 30 years of service. There is a young eunuch outside your office now, 19 years old, from Shandong. His name is Wu. He sweeps the corridor and watches everything. His eyes are too careful to be accidental. You recognize the quality immediately. You invented it. You watch him watching. You think, there it is. You say nothing to him for 6 months. Level 9. The night everything changes. He has been dying slowly for 2 years, now he is dying quickly. The court is a held breath, every faction repositions, every official calculates, every alliance is being tested against one question. What happens in the first 72 hours after the announcement? You know what the first 72 hours look like. You have seen it twice before, you know exactly where to stand, what to say, what never to say under any circumstance. On the night the Emperor's breathing changes, you are already awake. The first sound of the end is a long, rattling breath. You have always been awake for the important moments. You learned this so long ago it no longer feels like a skill. It feels like breathing itself. You lie in the dark in your room. The door with the lock, the cup with the chipped rim. You think about a road that took 3 days to walk. A man who held your hand tighter than usual. Who did not look back when he left. You forgave him somewhere around your 40th year. Not for his sake, because carrying it had become expensive. The bell rings, you rise, you dress. You walk the corridor you have walked 10,000 times. Level 10, passing it on, you are 63, the corridor 1 hour before dawn. Wu is already at his post. He straightens the moment he sees you coming. His eyes are correct, alert, perfectly still, giving nothing away. You stop beside him. You look at him the way Master Shen looked at you 40 years ago in this same building. You understand now what that look contained. It was not evaluation, it was recognition. The recognition of one careful man by another. The moment one generation sees itself in the next and knows the thing will continue. Stay close to me tonight. You say, watch what I do, don't speak unless I ask you a direct question, don't show surprise at anything you see. Not anything. He nods once. You walk forward into the corridor. It is dark. An empire is changing hands somewhere ahead of you in the next few hours. Everything you have built over 55 years will either survive the next 3 days, or it will not. There is no more preparation to be done, no document left to position, no word left to place in the right ear at the right moment. You have done everything you can, the rest is patience, and patience from the vinegar room to this corridor. From the boy with bleeding hands and a broom to the man whose name officials speak with precision has always been yours.